Oh, hello, outliers. It's so fun for me because I feel like it's been such a long time since we've gotten a chance to connect. It's like I don't know why I have that sensation. It's been so long. But it's good. I'm grateful you're here. My name is Niiamah Shang, and thank you so much for letting us be a part of your journey here today. We have an incredible outlier that's coming to join us here on this roundtable, and we're going to spend time diving into how he continues to not just be an outlier on her own path, but trailblaze for others along the way. Sarah, it's a gift to have you be a part of this conversation. Thanks for being a part of this platform.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's give outliers a chance to get to know you. Do you want to share more about you and the game you're currently playing?
The game I'm currently playing. So, one phrase I use often is I'm weaving the human fabric. And I'm weaving the human fabric with poetry, with music, with in the recovery community here in Salt Lake City. So, I believe, as human beings, operate way better and have way more fun if we operate interwoven. And a way for us to really get there with each other is through art and creative expression. So I've been facilitating writing, performance, musical recording, all of that here in Salt Lake City for the last six, maybe 6 years, maybe 10 years, depending on how you count it.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's one of those things where when I heard you like say like the maybe part, I was like some part of me feels like you've been doing this to some extent all your life, you know?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
as a little kid. So I'm firstborn on both sides of my family. I have over 100 cousins. And since
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
born,
wow.
I've
Nice.
been gathering everybody and saying, come on, guys, we're gonna go do this cool thing. Let's just get a sack lunch and go in the mountains. So yeah, I have been doing this a while.
Yeah, yeah. No, my mission is to bring together a truly inclusive and empowered world. And the bringing together part is like the part that really I realize sometimes I forget, like I'm like, let's be empowered, let's be inclusive. But I'm like, wait, it's about like once we come together, we're good, and there's a come on in element to it. So
Yeah,
like
so you're weaving the human fabric too.
oh yeah, I recognize my people. Like I'm like, got it. We call it different things, but like at the end of the day, we're all doing the same thing and we're doing our part of the same thing. You know,
Absolutely. Hmm. Yeah.
I want to make sure outliers like have a sense as to like how this fabric is coming together for you right now. Like tell us about what you've been working on professionally, and the impact that you're making there. I want to make sure that they get a chance to see that.
So I could start with the now and kind of go
Yeah,
backwards,
cool.
because I'm most excited about what I'm doing now because I'm doing it
Yeah.
now. I
Yeah.
so most recently I took 9 artists to a desert house here in southern Utah in a town called Orderville, and the retreat was called Leap of Faith. I told my partner Philip Millerberg, all we need to do is get a bunch of artists in a house in the desert and something amazing is going to happen. I know it. And I've been telling him this for years. And it was the time to make the leap of faith. And so the whole thing was so guided with the people who came. My Airbnb reservation was canceled by some fluke. I had to find a different reservation, which turned out to be the right reservation. Anyway, we spent 4 days. From the second we got there, we hit record. We were writing. There were instruments in every room of the house. My mentor was there, Nan Seymour, facilitating writing circles for us. We ate family dinner all together. My daughter was our chef and she cooked for us every night. And no matter where people were at in the creative process, it's time for dinner. Everyone has to sit down at the table. And so we created a lot more than just the art that we created. We created a way of being in that house for 4 days. And the whole time we were there, I had my iPhone and I'm recording everything that's happening and making all these little shots. I came home and I said, I'm going to make a movie. Like the story is so beautiful. And so I don't know how to make a movie. I've never made a movie before, but I did. I made a movie and it's a 50-minute documentary called Leap of Faith. And we're doing another retreat in October. And I'm thrilled about it because what I have wanted for years is to go deep with just a few artists rather than scratch the surface and, color on a canvas for an hour. Like, let's go deep and really make something that's going to kind of drive us crazy, but ultimately be so beautiful. So when we got back, we made the movie, we lost our minds. We took the movie out to the salt flats and hung a screen and projected the movie at sunset in the white salt flat desert. And I mean, I had so many people come up to me just with tears in their eyes saying like, yes, how do I have more of that?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're doing. So fantastic.
Yeah.
And you might hear the elephants. I'm down in the basement. You might hear the elephants of my children
Oh, okay, cool. No,
around.
I don't hear that. I was like, you have elephants too.
They
You have
sound like
Salt Lake, you have
elephants
deserts,
when
you
you're
have
in
all this
the
stuff.
basement.
Yeah. No, no, no. We're good. You know, some of the things that got me like I always get the feels when I recognize that like this world we live in like is completely made up, right? You had an idea and you let that idea germinate for 4 years or for multiple years, and then you decided to bring it out to life. And then like while you're doing it, you decided to capture it and make sure that like you got you didn't just create moments. You created being. You created a way of an experience that went there. And then you got back and you said, by the way, that experience shouldn't just live on its own. Like let's turn this into something, right? And you created a movie just because you could, even though you couldn't, you didn't know how, right? Uh and then you didn't just keep it to yourself. You brought it out to the world, and other people got a chance to experience it and recognize that. And I just as I'm hearing this, this is it's really fun being with like I would consider you a creative. So you let me know if that's the case. But like it's really fun being with creatives where I'm just like, whoa.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah. It's like what how did that wasn't there before and
Hmm.
now it's here, you
Hmm.
know? And now it's here. I
Yeah.
really want to just like acknowledge that. I like it's cool that you said that that's how you feel too, by the way, because I would imagine it'd be like, yeah, that's just a Monday for me. Like I'll tell you what, like,
Mhm.
yeah,
No, the whole time we were in the desert, I was like, can you like, ah, what is
yeah,
happening? Like, this is so beautiful. Just surprise after surprise, beauty after beauty. And
yeah.
there's also a 15-song album that was mixed, mastered by my partners. They put in hours and hours, and the album is good. Like, people are gonna listen to it.
Yeah, this is really cool. I think that how long did it take between like when you first thought about this and bringing that to life? Like how many years was involved?
I think you guessed it right. I think it was 4 years because I think
Yeah,
it was a year or two into us really working with artists where I felt like we need more time. Like we
yeah,
need so much more time and we need like a dedicated space. That's one thing that I care deeply about is dedicated space. So I won't ever host a show where the artist is not fully listened to, where the space is dedicated to listening to what they have to share. So
yeah. Oh,
dedicated
that's cool.
space is so important to creativity and to for both the artist and the audience because the artist wants to be heard and the audience can't really hear if there's too much going on. So I do everything I can to protect that space and make it as special as it actually is.
So we're gonna go back a little bit beforehand because you've been doing this for 6 years, 6 or 10 years, like overall. We'll get to that in a bit, but I wanted as we have this conversation, outliers, I'm gonna invite in like that we bring time in as a friend in this conversation,
Yeah.
right? I think that there's a lot of look, I'll speak for myself. I feel a lot of pressure to always perform now, you
Mhm.
know. And then like, you know, or to be like, well, I could have done this 4 years ago. Why did I wait so long? And like,
Yeah.
you know, the fact is sometimes things are ready when they're ready. And this, you know, I'm a massive action kind of person, so it's not to take us out of massive action, but I do like this element of like, oh wait, like this was like you got to this. Let me ask you real quick. When you got the 9 people in there, I'm thinking about this because a lot of entrepreneurs in this space, a lot of people who are involved in hosting their own retreats and so on and so forth, right? Um, the word enroll comes to mind in bringing this in here. So, can you share with us about like your enrollment process of of the 9 and like what actually got them to be like, all right, I'm gonna come out the desert with you and do this like deeper thing and so on and so forth. Was it like an easy process or was it like one of those things where you're like, I gotta go find these people?
It was easy and it speaks to what you're saying about time. And I really appreciate that recognition of time because it was worth the wait. And so the people who ended up coming were people who in that span of I think it was about 4 years, I had met and I had known to be invested, like where they're gonna make art. under all conditions. Like they are devoted to this as a way of being. And so I knew who was supposed to come. Um, and so it was just, I mean, it seems like they came because they believed me, which is interesting. It's like they were kind of leaping because I was leaping, and they've seen my leaps, and so they were like, well, something cool is going to happen. But yeah, I knew them. I had worked with them. They had been in my shows, so they
This
came. They
is
just the people who were supposed to come came.
I love this. There's something in this around like they leap because you were leaping. There
Yeah.
is that is what it my heart is singing right now. My
Hmm.
eyes are getting moist as you say that. Like because it goes back with this idea of like there was no reason this could like nothing was guaranteed to happen. It wasn't like you were like ordained to be like, hey, by the way, on this day, make sure that nine people go. Like, no, it's just that,
No.
like you were like. This is why I like the word enroll because I it was really shared with me earlier today about enrollment, true enrollment being like head, heart, like soul alignment, you know? And if you can engage all of those, then we're good. And what I get from you is like you weren't there to be tepid. You weren't there to convince. You weren't there to say, hey, by the way, I'm thinking about taking this leap. Does anyone else want to leap with me? Right.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, is that like fair?
Right.
You're like this is happening. And you know, like
Yes.
it's now. Now's the time.
Yeah.
Like, let's do this. Let me check in with you.
Absolutely. Yes, I was leaping. Totally, I was going.
Okay. Outliers, I'm coming to you right now. Where in your life right now are you on the edge of this leap and talking about the leap and talking like when all that might need to happen is for you to leap first and then bring other people around and give them the experience as well. Like what if there's something in your world right now, as much as we want to honor time, like what if there's something in your world that right now all that was required was not the effort, not at least not the effort in terms of like all the work involved first, but like just the effort of taking that first jump and being like, hey, this is happening, y'all. Like this is going down. Is there anything you want to say to any outlier who's hearing this? I think one of the things I like to do, Sarah, is like show all the awesome things that like we as outliers create out in the world, but also be real about what it took to make it. Like you are a human. You have elephants upstairs, like and like these things happen and
Yes.
yet you still created this, And so, is there anything you want to say to any outlier that might be thinking, maybe not in the musical context, but like bringing together a retreat or an idea for a program that they have or an offering that they may have out in the world that like maybe it's been sitting and incubating for 4 years? Is there anything that you would want to say to them?
Do what you can do today, and then just keep doing that.
Mm.
Um, that helps me is just breaking it down into I have a whiteboard that's like floor to ceiling in my room, and I just write down the stuff that I can do today. And then under that I write down the stuff that I intend to do. And this retreat was on there for a long time. But as far as like I mean the mental blocks, of course, are the hardest. The mental blocks that say this isn't practical, I have kids. Of course, like money and kids is always there's always a tension there. And my kids got mad at me, like especially my oldest daughter, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why can't you be a normal mom? Like, I've been reckoning with this, like, why can't you be a normal mom for, I mean, I think her whole life. She's 23 years old now, but I think what helped me was recognizing that if I'm going to raise my children to believe that their dreams matter, then my dreams also have to matter. And so that helped me reckon with like the worry about my kids, or that I wasn't being prudent enough or safe enough. It's like, what am I teaching them to grow up to be? So as far as people who are about to make a leap, the other thing that helped me was having other people who were aligned with what I was doing. I think, it's easier if there's just even one other person who gets it, like one ally that can um, help hold that reality for you when it doesn't exist anywhere else. If you don't have to maintain that reality by yourself, you got like one other person who's like, yeah, I see that. That helps.
I'm there's a couple different things that are flowing to me. This is how conversations with me go. People say things and then like my body experiences it, and then my
Yeah,
mouth says, "This is what my body experienced." You know,
right. That's the
uh,
smart.
yeah, it feels really good. One, thank you for not being normal. I'm not like I'm not one of your children, so like I would have to deal with the other side of it, but like at least it brought like it made this possible. And
Mm.
I have a friend who said she said, "I'm so glad I'm not a potato." I'm like, what? She's like, she's like, you only hang out with like exotic fruits and like veggies and all that stuff. Like if I was a potato, you would have noticed me. And I told her I thought it was to me it was one of the biggest compliments I could have gotten. But I
Mhm.
told her I was like, look, as long as you are the most potatoy potato there is, then we're in good shape because everyone needs a good old potato.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, but like there's I see that you choose to play differently than others, and I appreciate that you brought your daughter in here in the sense of like, and it comes with a cost, and it's not just the financial cost or like like any kind of like belief in self cost, right? But it's like it's like the people around us have a vision of who we should be,
Mm,
and like, and it's not easy to not be with that. And so, without having to speak about your daughter specifically here, I just like, I think there's something about like continuing to put your flag in the sand and like, and or to move down your path. Like this is what this whole thing's about. Because people
mm,
haven't, it's hard to hold a reality that you're creating when others aren't sharing that reality with you, and then until it's actually done, you know.
right.
Anything that comes to you, anything that feels like it wants to be shared based on that.
Well, when you were talking about, people being maybe worried or concerned about living in a more unconventional or extreme way, for myself as a person in recovery, and I talked earlier about the real parallel or connect between the addicted state and the highly creative state. They're very similar because in both states, you kind of shut out everything in order to focus in on what you're doing. And there's a real shadow to creativity that is uh, selfish, cold, dismissive, self-centered, narcissistic. All of that stuff exists in that creative state. And so it's it's worth noting that and um, communicating with the people who love and trust me. Like, yes, I recognize like I'm gonna be in creative mode for 3 weeks. My deadline for this movie is August 23rd, and I will finish it. And I love you. And here's some oatmeal and I'll be back and like asking for support. And so like really taking accountability for that shadow of the creative space and recognizing it and calling it what it is, because we do tend, I think, as highly creative people to be um, blind to our other responsibilities.
Oof, Sarah. So like, thank you for that statement right there. One of the things I appreciate about you is, uh, I'll call it groundedness. Maybe there's a different word to it all. Um, but like it isn't just like high vibe elements to you. Like you're like, look, this is part of what it is. And I've never put the language around like, what I call like the dark side of creativity, you
Mhm.
know. And there's something in it when you said like it can be selfish and like you can put on blinders on for everything else. Two
Mhm.
things came for me. One of them was just like, no, she did not just say that. Like I had one of those moments right inside, right? And I think, and the reason I had this, I'm like, oh, there's truth in it, you know. And
Mhm.
then the other side of it that came up, and it was a bit of like what you were saying earlier, with like with how you like talk to people around you. There's something in like in seeing the truth, then you can actually go and like actively like prepare for it. Like there's a project that I need to take on that I'm just like, this is just gonna be so much work, and I'm like avoiding, and I'm like, it's not actually the work that I'm avoiding. It's it's actually this element of like I'm gonna have to like like it's gonna want something from me,
Yeah.
and I'm going to, and I don't know where I'm gonna take it from, and so
Mhm.
but it's something's gonna have to be taken from,
Yeah.
and that element of like selfishness like really showed up. And like when you said it, like that product immediately flashed to mind. And I was like,
Mm,
oh, I need to confront this if this product is going to have a chance of actually being successful.
yes. Yes. Yeah. I love that. And what you're speaking to is kind of the more like mystical aspect of creativity, which is so fascinating to me. I'm a huge Carl Jung nerd. I love
Mm.
reading about like the realms before this one, and that energy is going to come from somewhere. Like your the things that you create, they're up here, and they're not created yet, and they will come from somewhere. And so being mindful of, where is this coming from, where am I getting this from? And it's scary, but it's more scary not to, because it'll get you later.
I think that like there's a reality that's in it, right? Like even just like we talk about like holding the reality of it. There's just something about creativity that I can look at with a more uh, with a higher like lens here. I have a friend. I mention her often here. Um, uh, she once told me that she got a PhD in creativity. And she said, and I was like, I don't want to be like held back or anything like that. And she's like, look, creativity thrives with constraints.
Yes.
Creativity thrives with constraints. And one of the things that like I didn't get until this conversation is like I thought it was about the constraints that were put on to be like, all right, you like kind of MacGyver, it's like you have a cup, you have a glasses, and you have like a microphone. Get out of this room, right? But what I'm also seeing here is that like it's the constraints in which it might put on your life. It might be the constraints in what like it's like, all right, if you're really gonna make this work, you're like, I have 3 weeks, right? And I'm going to also have to put the constraint of like if I'm going to get to the creative level I want it to be at, I have to elevate this in my life over something else in my life. Like that's a new constraint.
Yeah.
You seem to see this more. So I'm sharing what I feel like you already see. What else do you see when it comes to creativity? I want to know. I wanna-
Well, I mean, when I say, where is it coming from, where is it coming from? The It can be coming from here, and there's nothing wrong with it coming from here
Could you
or
say it out loud just for anyone that's listening where you're pointing to?
I'm pointing to my brain or my heart or my guts. Um, it can also come from uh, a larger place, which is our shared or collective consciousness, as Carl Jung would call it. Um, and so in that way, an artist has the ability to really listen to the collective and respond to the collective and create not only what I would want to create, but what is being asked of me as a refined creator to create. What is being asked of me, not only by me and what I want, but like tuning into the other artists around me, tuning into my recovery community. This isn't, and I have chills right now telling you this, because this isn't only something that I want to create. It's not coming just from me, it's coming from what I am answering. And so my mentor taught me about listening for the call. The call is always there, always exists. And if you become one who can hear the call, then you will hear the call, and then you are called. And that's a beautiful light side of the what people would call addiction. The root of the word addiction is addictus in Latin, which means devotion of the spirit. And so to be called into devotion by what is around you, regardless of what you want to call it, um, there's all of this help that comes, all of this guidance that comes, all these resources that come. And then it's not just me creating this by myself, it's me um, going along for the ride and being willing to create in service of what I can hear is being asked for. And it comes from love. Ultimately, it comes from care. And it's so powerful, and it's so fun because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm grateful for this. There's an element here. And so like you brought in creativity, recovery. why don't we center that just a bit more in the conversation? Because I know you and I were talking about it before we hit record, but I don't know if we've really given outliers a chance to like see how that's a part of your world.
Yeah. So the recovery part, I love working with people in recovery. I feel like I have, and I've been through many seasons. At first, I was just in love and it was wonderful and I was so grateful. And I was 25 and like, wow, this is amazing. And I've gone through many different periods with seeing the what I would call the underbelly of the recovery world. But what I love about people in recovery is they are so open. They are so ready and able to tell their stories, even the gnarly stuff. Like they're we have kind of this do you swear on this podcast?
Yes, but like yes. I was like, we don't go out of our way to do it, and yet at the same time, like if it's
Well,
present,
because
it's present. Go ahead.
because what I was gonna say is like we start on this no bullshit level. Like we all arrive in recovery not because we succeeded, but because we found ourselves in a state of defeat. And so working with people from that place, there's so much openness. There's so much shared responsibility. The recovery community is, I mean, sure, we have our issues, but like when you are faced with death as the alternative, we are really willing to accept one another, start again, forgive. We come from this place of redemption. And so working with artists in recovery is so satisfying because they're literally at a crossroads where the muse of their creation used to be the addiction and the pain and all of that, and they are having to come into the state where the muse has to change. The like their identity has to change if they're going to live, and so they're creating from this other place, and I get to tell them like, yeah, you really can do that. And so there's such an authenticity with this community, and um, I find that it can be hard for adults to get real with each other, and we don't have that problem. We get real with each other, and so what better way than to make art together? So it was a way for me to re-enter my recovery community on my own terms, with my own offering, without feeling stifled by some of the more dogmatic aspects of recovery, and really participate once again with integrity. Because at first you learn the rules, then you break the rules, which I did. And so recovery and art just, they want to go together. And I saw that and I just didn't feel like it was happening yet. So I made it happen.
There, I appreciate you. There are things you were saying that that hit me hard, and I can tell like sometimes I wanted to like do like the podcast like facilitator thing where I like turn around and ask you another question about it, but then there's some things that like I have to go back and listen to again because like um some things are meant for like the soul more than for than for the head, you
Yes.
know. And there's some things that you were saying that was really that really gripped me
Mhm.
throughout this, and I think there's just like a lot more similarity to like you're using words and talking about things in a way where I'm like, oh, I really recognize this. Like I recognize myself in some of what you're saying, you know? And I think that that was unanticipated. And at the
Mhm.
same time, it's like, yeah, there's just a real alignment with yeah, there's a real alignment. Like you're really like pulling on some strings within me right now. And I like and it's even just like there's like small things you said where it's like oh well this like really wasn't really like most people didn't think it could be done or it should be done or it's like it's even going against like the counter narrative of like what most people think should be done like even in this space and it's I don't know there's something cool about that there's something cool about it it's also something that I'm like oh like this journey is not like it's not a solo journey at all like we keep creating it over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing. It's amazing because I've never met you before.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
And
this
we
is
we know each other in some way, right?
I think this is where like you talk about like the depth and like there's an interesting format around like these kind of conversations. And I'm now in a place where I'm getting ready to bring other people on to facilitate conversations. And I'm like, if I'm being real with you, I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm even scared. Like I know that technically we can get people into a room and
Yeah.
we can do things, but like um I think the biggest thing I'm scared of is like I don't even know what I'm doing, you
Oh yeah,
know? And like
right.
it's like I meet strangers on a regular basis and we leave it's like not strangers, like and like they're meeting each other and other things happen and it's like all I know is that the magic is taking place in the room. I don't know how to bottle it. I don't know any of that stuff. I just think that
Yeah.
it's like, but we just need to get them here, you know? We just need to get
Mhm.
them here. And I don't even know
Yes.
why I'm sharing that with you right now, Sarah, but it's something that's real. It's like part of the next level of creation for me, which is like, can I create without being there? Especially and how do I have that happen when I don't even know what I'm doing in the first place? Obviously I know what
Yeah.
I'm doing, but like I don't. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
yes, I really do. I really do feel what you're saying, and
Yeah.
it is that that leap of faith. And before making a leap of faith, the question is, well, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah. I like that. I like that. Somebody the other day was like, it's like, look, if you can make this thing happen and then like not do it and go back to what you're doing beforehand, like you're in pretty good shape.
Well, yeah, and I think too, in the spirit of um, shared responsibility and reciprocity and all of that, uh, if I have created something with integrity, then I can pass it on, and it's appropriate that I pass it on. It's like I'm in conversations with my mentor right now where she's handing off like a her life's work and she's trusting people with it. And if it's really doing its job and it's really not just all about you and it's really is of service, then it can be passed on because there's integrity in it and it will hold that integrity. And so getting those guidelines in place of like, what is this really about? And then trusting other people to also love that thing is is really kind of like you're saying next level. It's like next level as a creator because I'm not going to be here for very long. I'm do my best as Sarah Kappos, and then when she's done, then somebody else is going to pick up some of the stuff that I was doing. If it has some integrity, then it will continue on. And it's beautiful to think about that. It's beautiful to think about it that way. I mean, I have you heard this idea of um, the wise teachers will plant seeds for trees under which they will never sit.
That's cool.
It's so cool.
That's cool. Yeah, Sarah, I'm grateful for this conversation. There's a lot that came up. I remember what was one. Let me make sure before I go on to the next thing. I'm going to say thanks. I didn't realize that inside of me there was this like, yeah, I didn't realize like what the fear was, what was underneath it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, like there's actually something cool happening. It's like here, and unfortunately, like I want to keep being a part of it, and at the same time, I want to share it. And I don't know, like I can't logic my way to it. I can speak to different things, but I'm very glad I record stuff. But I
Yeah.
also I also recognize I'm like I am the only Niiamah Ashang out here. Like and so but also gets me excited. So I'm like I'm very curious like how someone else is gonna like evolve this. I wonder what like I actually as I think of it out loud, I'm like, oh, the real truth behind this is actually now going to have a chance to be able to emerge because it's not just going to be my thing, but it's like what happens when 10 other people are also doing their thing and we're able to figure out like all 10 of us were doing this. It looked
Mm,
different for each
yeah.
one, but like
Right.
all of us were doing this. Like this is the real truth underneath it. It's not necessary. It's like this is how we've been created, you know?
Yes. Oh my goodness. What a huge leap you are
Yeah.
facing right now.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I want to tell you also thank you because I in this moment in this conversation, I'm able to kind of like like curate or distill like what am I doing?
Mhm.
Because I am so in it. And so to it's been such a beautiful reflection for me to be able to share it with you in a way that can be received. It
Yeah.
feels really good to me. Thank you.
Thank you for doing your work to make sure that that's like that happens, like it's nice playing with the mastery and you yeah, it's an interesting game that we're playing, right? Where it's like,
Yes.
I think it's like the game of like, hey, I'm just doing the work, and
Mhm.
like, it's not. I tell people all the time, like, it's not my job to like, it's not my job to stop doing the work to try and explain the work yet. I think my job right now is to just keep doing it, and then eventually someone's gonna write a story or a book or whatever it is, and they'll be like, this is what he did. I'm like, oh, great, thanks. Hopefully I'll be around to see it. I'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, I don't know, I've just hit a record and invited people. Like, you know,
Woohoo, so good. You're so good
no,
at it. You made it so
no.
easy.
Yeah, we're playing. We're having a good time. We're having a good time with it. So we're gonna wrap up the conversation here. I do want to call in one thing that I felt personally hit me, which was when you talked about the what happens when your muse changes, or when you can no longer go back to that which you were. And I think that like there's something incredibly confronting, very painful in that right there. But I also think about like the outliers and trailblazers that are listening to this who have been known for something in their life, who've created, who've like, they've gone to XYZ heights in their career. And now they're taking a leap to go, use your words here, a leap of faith to go and bet on themselves. And like, oh, that infrastructure, that thing that I had known, the thing that I had come to rely on is gone. Like, how do I continue to like am I even still me if my greatness is outside of that space? Because isn't that what made me great? And there's something in what you said that is like that like hit me where it's like no. And we got like there is a process of finding the new infrastructure that continues to support like the greatness that you have and its new expression out in the world. So, is there anything you want to say on the Muse thing before like I will bring us to close, I promise. But like yeah.
No problem. No
Yeah.
problem. Yes, I mean, what I would say about that is that it all counts. So, as a writer, if you came to my house, I have shelf after shelf of books that I have written in. I mean, I've been writing since I was 12 years old. I'm 46. I've been writing for a long time. Um, and it all counts and it all was creating me as an artist. Primarily what I'm creating is me, and I am the filter through which everything that I create comes. And so to trust that filter, trust the refinement of the filter, you can think about it as when you first start drawing, you draw a house and it's like a triangle and a square and that's the house, right? As an artist is refined, they can add more and more and more detail. They have the skill to easily see that and easily add the detail. And even if you burned all their drawings that they ever made, they possess that within themselves to see and to articulate. And so all of everything they ever made counts to create the filter, which is you, through which whatever you create is gonna come. So it'll love changes form, but the love is the same no matter where you take it. Same with home. You can create home wherever you go to.
I think that's a great place for us to wrap for today. All right. So,
Right.
Sarah, what I'm going to do is first I'm going to have an ask about outliers. Outliers. It's been an incredible conversation. We've gone in a number of different places, and what that makes me know is that like this is one of those kind of conversations that can really impact someone because it has a lot of room and breadth and space in it. So my ask is to think about someone in your world right now who would really benefit from hearing this conversation. Like you can go out and share it out more broadly with people as well, but there's something that captures me where it's like if this conversation could live on as an ongoing conversation shared with the next right person who it was meant for, like it all the work would be done. Like I don't know how to describe it, but it's like in my mind, I'm like, this is the way that 30 years from now, people are still benefiting from this conversation, rather than like, can you just go share it on your socials? Like that's a splash in the pan. Like this is continuously connecting us through the years, even when we aren't having the conversation. So outliers, my answer is that like when there's someone in your world where that is right for this conversation, please do not hesitate and let them know you're thinking of them and send it to them as a gift. All right. Sarah, what I'd love for us to wrap up with is for you to let outliers know how they can go deeper down the journey with you. And every conversation I have is one that where transformation is like lives, right? And so if there's anything that for you here, like that you like to share in terms of, yeah, not what you like to share. I would love to know if there's anything in this like an insight that you are taking away from this conversation, something that helped transform you, that helped uplift you, that you're walking away from this conversation. That'd be really wonderful. So if we can share like how outliers can go deeper with you and what's an insight that you're leaving this conversation.
Okay. So you can find us at ownitslc.com. We have a podcast of our own, also called Own It SLC. It's on our website, it's on Spotify. We have, I have my own personal podcast actually that was recorded years ago called Chrysalis Break. And it's specifically connected with motherhood, creativity, and disordered eating and the recovery from that. So Chrysalis Break is dear to my heart. Eating disorder recovery is not talked about well very often, and I feel like it's addressed well in that. So if you know anyone who's suffering from disordered eating, Chrysalis Break is on Spotify as well. Um, and then look for screenings of Leap of Faith, because there are going to be more screenings of Leap of Faith, at least here in Salt Lake City for now, and then we'll see where she goes. But what I'm taking from this conversation is the gift of distillation. I do so much, and sometimes I get overwhelmed, and to be able to distill it all into just like a couple of simple things that are like prayers for me. Each word carries a universe within it. Um, is so valuable. It's like to help me carry on. And I got to do that with you today, and I'm really appreciative of that.
I'm grateful for it myself here. Sarah, thank you very much. And outliers, thank you. Here goes the thing, outliers. Until the next time we talk, be you on purpose. Journey on.
Mhm. Nice.